Hello, everybody. Welcome back to You've Been Josh with Josh. I'm your host, Heshua. Your boy Heshua. Joshed. Bing bong. Welcome back to the 15th episode of the podcast. It's been 15 episodes. A multiple of 3. Isn't that crazy? We've done it. We finally gotten here. We finally pushed ourselves to 15 episodes. It's great. Woo! Hope everybody's doing well. I hope that 2022 is treating you kindly thus far. A lot of things have happened already this year. In the last 2 weeks that we've been in January. Betty White passed away, sadly. Bob Saget. And unfortunately, last night, I'm gonna just skim through this because it's a rough topic for me. To be honest, I'm making a joke of a heavier situation for me, but my childhood dog passed away last night. So it's been a little rough. And last night I was playing a game on stream called The Lost Ember, and you play as a wolf. And I got the call from my parents during the stream, and it was hard. It was hard. Plus, I was trying. It was the first time that I've implemented some of the new features for my trophy hunting streams, where I can track the trophies that we earn. And I was trying to get the platinum in one stream, and I ended up streaming for 10 hours. But it was partially me just wanting to get my mind off of things. So I kind of just streamed. I kind of just kept streaming, and it ended up not even getting the platinum because the game's one trophy was glitched and bugged, and it wouldn't pop, so I can't get the platinum. So I'm going to wait on that, which was very frustrating and very unsatisfying. But it is what it is, you know. And just as that is what it is what it is with life as well. And I feel like that's where I'm at with, especially with after COVID, is just I am sad about my childhood dog, but at the same time I know that it's not the end of the world, and I also know that that I can always think back on other things, and they're no longer in pain, and it sucks, but life will move forward. And to bring in something new, something fresh, we are doing a guest today on the podcast. I know this went into a range of emotions right off the bat, but I think that is the best way to start off a podcast episode because it's raw. It's raw. And that is why we're bringing in TheeKrimson, my good friend. I've talked about him plenty of times on the podcast in prior episodes, and you guys know him from stream if you are in the streams at all. And so today we're bringing him in, and we're going to be talking to him a little bit about his life, 2022, his past experiences, just about everything. So, Crimson, hello, how are you?
Oh my god, hello. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Really crazy start of the podcast episode. I went in waves there for a second. But welcome in, my friend. How are you?
Oh, it's an honor. I had to get, I don't know if you could tell, I put it a big old stretch in. It's so good to be here. How are you?
Dude, I'm fantastic. I've got my chair all the way back. My mark arm is to me, so to anyone who's wondering what I look like when I'm recording these, I'm literally laying down. And it's relaxing. I can just kind of talk. I feel like this is what I'm going to do when I have guests, is I'm just going to lay back and pretend that I'm at therapy and my guest is my therapist. So I'm just going to lay down and just listen and talk and just relax.
Absolutely amazing. I love in the editing process. He's after off the hook with Ben Josh, he's just in his hoodie with the headphones on, sunglasses, can't see shit.
I look like Daredevil.
Why does he have a bandana on? I don't know.
How can he see? Oh my gosh. But no, thank you so much for coming on and being my first guest. it's been something I wanted to do for a while because of course you were one of my guests for 11Zs back when that was a thing before we switched over to this format. But I just wanted it. I'm a perfectionist. You know that. You know that about me.
Yes, I do.
But the thing is, like, I with the sound, making sure that I can bring them on, what to talk about, who to bring on, because when you're sitting and talking with nothing adding to the equation besides the other person, you want to make sure that the person you're bringing on is someone you can actually like jive with. Otherwise, it's going to be a very uncomfortable conversation.
I mean, it can be, but that's the fun part about it. You look at different podcasts and it's typically a lot of people you're comfortable with, but then like you get to the bigger podcasts and you got to, consider welcoming on like celebrities, and you only know them from like how they show face, like on camera and movies and other interviews.
Yeah.
So I guess it just depends.
I feel like it's mindset, really, because like, I don't know. Something that I see a lot of the time, especially with streamers, is like on Twitter. Twitter is like, oh my god. The longer that I love Twitter, I love Twitter. Okay, so like when I got on Twitter, I was like, this is great. And then the longer you stay on, the more the algorithm catches you, and then you have all of these recommended posts that have nothing that you want to see. Yeah, because like when I first joined, it was all my friends, and I was like, this is perfect. I can just scroll through. It's nothing, and a couple ads. No big deal. Now I'm like, I see things from people that like I have like a mutual friend who's listening and following to this one person who's also following this other person. I'm seeing that post. And I'm like, why? I don't care.
Yeah, it's like a whole family tree of branches that you start from Twitter, and it you know where it gets you, right? It's when you set up your account and you have to tag like your favorite interests. What sports do you like? What games do you like? And then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I totally vibe, and like this makes sense. I'm setting up my profile, and then that somehow bleeds into watching squirrels eat nuts eventually down the road, and watching, I don't know, so every so often something familiar will come up, like streamers.
And that's how Instagram became too. Because one of the things I love about Instagram is whoever you follow, that's what you see. You don't see anything else. An occasional ad, but that's it. Now they have their discovery page on their like your main feed. So like when you're scrolling, you're gonna see other things, and I hate that. I hate that so much.
That it listens to you. Your phone just sits there and it listens to you.
Oh my god! I'm talking about buying a kayak with Joy, and like they're like, "Would you like to go camping?" Like, how did you know?
We saw that you looked up kayaking.
Would you like to buy a paddle? Life vests are on sale now.
Black Friday's New Year's End sale.
I know, it's rough. Oh my god. Yeah, no, we derailed together, but what I meant to say was on Twitter, something that I've noticed.
Hashtag derailed.
Hashtag derailed. Something that I've noticed is like a lot of people with streamers, they'll talk about a raid that they got from somebody. Or like even when they're like they'll post the video of them getting raided by like someone huge. And like I understand the excitement, but like they're like, "Oh my god, you're like an inspiration to me." And you're like, "Okay, well, they're just a human being. They wanted to
overselling the experience."
Yeah, and it's like you I don't know. It's because if you put yourself in the mindset of, "Hey, they're just a human being," like it's okay to be excited. You're allowed to be excited because it is exciting. Like when Namir rated me, and you got rated by like when you get rated by Koi or like those type of things. It's exciting. It's exciting, and you're happy. For a second,
and I think we were both thinking about like, who did I get rated by?
Yeah, I had to think about it. But like we both been rated by bigger people, and like it is exciting, and like we don't know them too personally. As obviously, like Namir and Koi, we've grown to know more, but when like back in the day, we didn't know who they were, and like it was exciting because they're a bigger streamer. But like I wasn't gonna go on Instagram and tag them on every social media and be like, "Namir, thank you so much for the freaking raid. I really appreciate it. It brought my average up so high, and I'm just so excited to be a full-time streamer."
Like showing a snapshot of your email. Like these are your stats from your most
I know.
Recent stream.
Oh my god! It's like I understand you're excited, but like bring it down. Like we're all working towards the same goal, you know. I don't know. For me personally, and this is just personally, so if anybody who's a streamer is listening and you do that, like, keep doing it, you know, like, do what you want to do. If that works for you, if you like doing it, go for it. This is just personal for me. This is what the podcast is for. We can talk about opinions openly. I just for me, it's kind of showboaty, and also kind of like sucking up to that person, and they're just a human being. They're trying to do the same thing you are, and they're just farther ahead in the process as we are. You know, they've gotten there.
Everyone starts somewhere.
Exactly, and it is nice for them to rate us. You know, it is nice for them to do that, but it's because they want to. Yeah, they want to. It's not that they're like trying to get something out of it. So don't try to get something out of them. You know?
Yeah, there's that line that I guess we might as well just mention it, and it's a matter of like you as the recipient of said raid or support system from a larger, you know, more well-known individual on this platform.
Yeah,
that's willing to share their community and, you know, like give a cheeky little shout out, you know, to so and so, in this case, like you or me. And it's very exciting, and it's up to you, like you, to essentially read the room, you know, in any situation. I think you can apply that analogy, and it's like, how far do you want to go with thanking them? Because you can leave it up to and chalking it up to being really wholesome, or you can take that a step further, and, you know, in some cases being cringe or a little too much, like showboating, like how you were saying. And I think it's just calculating that, but definitely like take it for what it is and be happy that if you do receive it, yeah, of course, you know, go with the hype, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Also, because of joining like Hover and like a couple other streamer communities, something that I have seen a lot on Twitter that I kind of want to mention, just because it at first it was funny, but then it started getting really old and kind of cringy. Was there's obviously some cliques on Twitch. Like, there's some people who hang out, and I think that's totally cool, because with being online and not knowing really who people are, because you're behind a camera and you're presenting yourself a certain way, going off of what we were just talking about, you know, and we talked about this last night, Crimson, was there's certain people that you just vibe with really well. And you know that no matter what, you can have them on and it'll be a good time, and you don't really have to worry about anything because you guys are on the same wavelength. And I feel like that's how I am with you. That's how I am with like Kenny. That's how I am with like Doug and Nick and Androsity. And, you know, like those, like I know I don't have to worry about anything, you know? And so we just vibe really well. So like it can come off as clicky, but it's also because we know that we can get along well. And so we want to do stuff with each other because it's less stressful, you know, because like when you do a stream, like a co-stream or any other type of like thing together for the first time, there are always that nervousness of like, are you going to get annoyed by them? Are they going to be obnoxious? Are they going to be rude? Like, you have no idea.
It's like first date.
Exactly. It is. So it's nice to have those people that, like, you know, that if you want to play a game with that's coming out, you can be like, hey, do you want to play this? And they'll be like, oh, hell yeah. And then you play it, you know? But there's a group on Twitter that I've fallen upon because, again, the algorithm moves and I'm friends with all of their friends. So, like, I see all their shit. But, like, BB Jess, very, very famous, but Twitter, she tweets, like, every day. And one of the things she posted recently was her Twitch partner gift box from Twitch. Like, she got the gift box for being a partner. It's like a water bottle, some magnets, and, you know, like that kind of thing. And she had recently been banned because of people spamming her one emote, which is called boobies, which are two bees with a ghost thing over it. So people, because it says boobies, even though it's BOOBEES, it was flagged, even though it looks not bad at all, like at all. So it was like she kind of was like laughing about it because she finally got her partner thing after the fact that she got reinstated. So it was kind of like them being like, here, you know? And so Capri Sun, I think it was Capri Sun. It was either Capri Sun or it was Sorry, I don't remember who. Another partner streamer posted a box It was Jay. It was just a box with like random shit in it, and he was like, "Can't believe Twitch finally like did my thing," and it was really funny, and I was like, "That's funny," because like obviously because they're friends, like they were just taking a shot at them, but also making fun of that they haven't gotten theirs yet either. But then like 3 of the other friends posted the exact same thing on the next day and the next day, and I was like, okay, now this is just like. It's like with humor. You've done some theatrical stuff. Humor is normally in 3 hits. It's the setup, it's the punchline, and it's that moment after that you can make it even better. By either a look or a turn or a pause. That's the 3. That's the 3 step of comedy. Yeah, and BB Jess was the setup. Jay did the punchline, and everyone who commented and liked it was the dramatic pause. That was the joke. Okay, that's how that would it's funny. Now there is a possibility of that 3rd step being him following up with something else or BB Jess doing something. But like if everybody else follows in suit, it's not funny anymore. That's why. That's why we have
exactly yes and
yeah. That's why there's also like. That's why I put cooldowns on Carl Weezer and Sir Appleton voices for my redemptions, because if I was doing it every single fucking second, it wouldn't be funny anymore. It would just be annoying. And so I have it cooldown.
Like that's for 2 reasons. Yeah, that could be for exactly that, but also just to rest that voice. That really, as fun as it is to it and listen to it, and that puts a strain on them vocal cords.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it was just something I saw that I was like, all right. I was like, you're beating a dead horse now. Like, all right, come on. But it was just like, there was like 3 other posts about it with the boxes from other people. Some of them not even like, I don't think we're even friends. Maybe they were friends of friends who were posting it too. I was like, you're just trying to ride a wave now. Like let's calm it down. It was funny when the first person did it, but now it's just like you're just trying to get as much clout as possible. It's like, okay, calm down. Yeah, no, I thought that was interesting. But speaking of time and place, last night in my stream, we had that occurrence with someone talking about Harry Potter. Ox, if you're listening, you did nothing wrong. I'm just bringing you up as a reference.
I have beef with you, Ox.
Ox, you're a dick. Ox is one of my mods to anyone listening. He was watching all of the Harry Potter again because it's the 20th anniversary for the books and the movies and stuff. And so they have like a reunion that they did where they have all the actors come back and they talk about the casting experience and the filming and all that stuff. And it's nice. It's a nice little
I love memento. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. And Joy and I watched it. And so Ox wanted to watch all of the movies over again before he watched that, which I thought was cool. But it's been 20 years. It's like Lord of the Rings just had theirs, but they didn't really make a big deal of it. And he mentioned something in the thing, and I will say spoiler alert right now, if you haven't seen Harry Potter, pause for a second. I'll give you the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Dobby dies. And that's the thing. And he mentioned that in stream, and he was just like, man, it gets me every time when Dobby dies because it's sad. It's really, really fucking sad. And I was like, oh man, yeah, I know. And not even thinking about the possibility of like spoiling it for anybody, because I grew up on the books and then I watched all the movies. And so like it's been so long. Like I've watched all of those movies probably like 5 times over by now. Like I've watched them a lot. And and I don't know. It didn't even cross my mind that I could possibly spoil it for anybody. It didn't. Honest to God, it didn't. And someone in chat was like, "Oh shit, like spoilers," and I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "Fuck," and I was like, "But wait, it's been 20 years. Like, come on." And so like,
yeah, that was such a funny moment, just because I mean I was there. I remember that moment, and when Ox had said that, I jokingly said, "Oh wow, spoiler, gee, thanks," because as much of a fan of the series you are of it, I've never read the books. I've never watched any of the movies. I've not seen even like the most I know about Harry Potter. Obviously, is like the actors, Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and so on and so forth, and then the memes. You get memes out of all kinds of old stuff, and that's like my only.
He's going to sacrifice himself.
Dobby is a free elf.
Yeah.
But yeah, it started off what was intended to be a joke, then sparked kind of like
a conversation.
There's an idea. Yeah, exactly. Like, well, is there a line? Should there be a line? Is it up to the person? And I think, in my opinion, it's like, I don't know, if it's that old, you had every opportunity to watch it.
Yeah.
And you just never took it. So therefore, if you're looking out for spoilers, and maybe that's on the consumer, maybe that's on the individual.
Yeah. And it is hard because, like, I don't know, because like when we talk about so many things on stream, from like you and I, when we play Borderlands like on Sundays, we normally will just talk about all kinds of stuff, from like Marvel to video games we've played in the past, and like we talk about stuff, and we never once have thought about like possibly ruin anything for anybody, because we're just vibing, we're just talking.
Yeah, depending on it, because I mean, like a perfect example is No Way Home that just came out.
Oh yeah, but that's
like
just out,
Yeah, that's obvious.
Even like I remember when Endgame and stuff came out, like I didn't talk about it with anybody for like a very long time, and yeah, it's just it's interesting because I feel like everyone in their mind will like subconsciously know, like, this is new, we don't want to ruin it, especially if it's that big, and then like after a while it just kind of flushes out of your brain because you talk about the movies and the books with the other people so much over the years that it just becomes second nature to just start talking about it because like you like it, it's an interest. And so for me, I honest to God didn't even think about the possibility that no one's seen it. I was just like, oh yeah, I feel you there. And I felt bad. And like the people who are in chat who did say like, oh fuck, spoilers and stuff. I'm not trying to call you out. Like, if you haven't seen it and you still want to see it, go see it. I highly recommend it. It was just an interesting topic of conversation that I wanted to bring up today, because like it is one of those things where it's like, I tried to make it into a joke right then and there because it did feel bad, but then I also was like, wait, so let's think about this. If it is, if it has been 20 years, does it need to be like a concern? Especially because, as streamers, we're live on the internet a lot.
Yeah.
We're just talking about things. We got to talk about things, otherwise it's boring. So it's interesting.
You're live and you're playing off of yourself. You're playing off of like what you're involving yourself with, whether it be a game or if you're reacting to stuff or if you're doing like tier lists, which are really super popular, and the biggest one of all, reacting to chat. And whoever brings up whatever topic, and it's up to the streamers and I think moderators' responsibility, to look out for that kind of stuff, and to have these conversations because they're so valid. It may be easily overlooked, but then it's like, hang on, let's take a step back and reevaluate. Is this something?
Well, it's just like
this one just happened really good.
Yeah, no, and it was just like when we were playing Borderlands. This is the first time we're playing Borderlands, but it doesn't even matter if it's the first time playing it. Someone coming into chat and spoiling something about the game, like, we're playing it right then and there, it's one of those things where it's like, you shouldn't spoil it no matter what, unless we're playing like like Apex or something. There's nothing really to spoil. But like for a story-based game, like there's ways to spoil things, and so it's something that you have to be kind of cautious of. It's just interesting, but yeah, I'm glad we talked about that because I thought that would be a good topic of conversation. And you saw last night the whole platinum issue with that fucking game, dude. Oh my god, I was so frustrated. Beautiful game. Yeah, the story was awesome. Yeah, beautiful game, great story. All the collectibles were really really cool and like had a lot of funny things like the Pokemon references and
the Easter eggs are so good. I love that so much.
They had the 6 legendary creatures you had to find, which were just shiny versions of animal. Like actually, they were glowing.
Like Pokemon.
Yeah, it was funny. They had like a reference to Portal, Zelda, Mario, Pokemon, Journey. They had the scarf from Journey. That game.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah. It was the actual scarf. It was pretty cool. But no, it was a beautiful game. Got all the collectibles. It's just that one trophy that I have. Like I actually did it. It's just bugged out, so it didn't count. Just doesn't work. I'm gonna have to keep looking up forums.
How much time did you dedicate to that?
10. It was a 5-hour game. I spent 10 hours, and partially why it took so long for that because I was following the guide. Because the nice part for people who don't know, for trophy hunting, there are some trophies that are like missable. Like if you don't want to have to play the entire game over again, you follow a guide and it'll be like, oh, keep your eye out for this specifically, and then that way you know and you don't spoil anything. And the nice part about people who write those guides is they leave out every single possible detail about the story and just focus on like location-based stuff, so that way you don't spoil any of the game for yourself. And I love that because then I can I don't have to worry about playing the game over again. I can just follow the guide and not have to worry about spoiling anything for myself, which is perfect transition from what we were just talking about.
Okay. Sounds phenomenal.
Yeah, it's wonderful. But the person who wrote this fucking guide, and I should have read the comments for the fucking guide itself, because everyone was livid, was this guy left out so many things. And then on top of that, had you going back and forth for no reason. Like, it was like every single time he was just exploring and found something, he wrote it down as the next thing. Like, it was so bad. And it got lazier and lazier as the story went on. And at one point, and there's a turning point, I think it was like at hour 6, I was like, fuck this. And I got rid of the guide and I just tried to find him myself. And I did. I found most of them all myself. There was only a few that I missed. And then I just went back and I started following other things. But it added so much more time onto the thing. But
just the trolls. So 5 hours, huh, Josh? 5 hours, 6 hours.
Dude, oh my god! You doing a 12-hour? Oh my god!
So many good moments in that. I mean, granted, it was the caveat. I think the plus side to that game was it was beautiful. It's a beautiful looking game. I love the music. Although at times it was like overbearingly loud to the point where I was like, hang on, I do need to turn down your stream a little bit, just because it's like, okay,
was it the water section? Because some of the water sections were loud.
Some of like the sound effects. I just remember it looked like it was a moment where, because you were traversing as the wolf. And you were just going through this area, and it might have been the water. I think it was just the like ambient sounds that they had.
Yeah,
it wasn't too often. I just remember one specific moment that it was a little bit overbearing. I was like, oh, nice, random loudness. Thanks, decibels. Appreciate that.
But it was a fun game. I enjoyed it. I'm really happy that I was able to figure out that counter for stream, so that way I can do that for trophies, because that's what I want to do. I want to do indie games on stream and platinum them in one stream, because one, I need to work on that anyway, but the indie games are shorter, so I can just throw that on stream, and then it's hype, because once we reach that goal, it's like you can see it and we're like, yes, we got it, you know. But
I love those accents that you added to your stream too, that really hones in on your purpose. Because you want to do trophy hunting, but I think this also centralizes using a graphic on stream, which is really cool that you implemented. I think that was a really good idea.
Yes, the one I made myself, both of them I made myself, but the photo, the one graphic on top of the overlay, the 3 trophies, those were all separate, and I laid them on top of each other to look like the one, because for some reason they only have the new platinum as a graphic online. They don't have any of the new trophies, because the trophy design changed for the bronze, silver, and gold, and I can't find them any of them. So here's what it is.
Big sad.
Yeah, big sad indeed. So speaking of video games, onto that topic. Talk to me about you, because a lot of the people who listen to the podcast, as I've learned, don't watch my stream. They just listen to the podcast. No, for real, it's awesome. I like it a lot. So tell me about yourself. Now that we're 30 minutes into the podcast, tell me about yourself. Tell me about like your video game past. Tell me about your stream, you know.
Well, you know what? Thanks for giving me this opportunity. I actually really appreciate it. A lot of people don't know that my real name is actually Nick, and I actually don't have a problem sharing that like a piece of information because I don't know. You kind of get more personable with when you know at least somebody's first name instead of just like their stream name or identity name.
Yeah.
However, but I started gaming. My goodness, everything was hand me downs. I was the youngest. Between me and my brother, I mean, I'm younger than him, obviously, but I'm the youngest on both sides of my family. So if there's any mistakes that I wasn't gonna make, I was made sure that I just learned from somebody else older than me making the mistake.
Yeah.
So I went to endure it myself. But back to the hand-me-downs, my brother got the game systems. So he actually we grew up with the N64, getting all the Game Boy, like the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, SP. He got the DS. And it was when the PlayStation 1 came out, he got it, or we got it, I should say. Shared it, played it, and that's like when I grew the affinity for loving PlayStation. We never had an Xbox. That's just how it ended up working out. And I absolutely loved it. So the first game, if I remember correctly, the first, I guess, group of games, because I was playing them all at the same time. They were all Nintendo titles. So technically, I'm a Nintendo boy. I don't know if you want to call it that, but
Yeah.
I grew up with Super Mario and Legend of Zelda.
So good.
And Ocarina of Time. That's everything. That's my childhood. That's my connection, like with my brother.
Yeah.
It's everything growing up. And when I tell you that game defeated us so many times, and then the sequel to that, Majora's Mask. Oh, in our lifetime, even to this day, we've only beaten Majora's Mask, which is the sequel to Ocarina of Time, twice.
Really?
The first time we beat it was with a strategy guide. And the second time we beat it was on my YouTube channel. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'll give myself a little shout out on my YouTube channel. Yeah, and that's when I started playing Zelda games with my brother, which then evolved into Zelda Saturdays. That he would come over and we would play Zelda games on my Twitch channel. And so we thought it would be really nostalgic and a really fun idea to delve into more Zelda games because early in our childhood growing up, we had only like played consistently whatever Zelda games that we had, that we were, that we obtained, that were either gifted to us from our parents or that we were recommended by like a couple of other friends. So we've only played like a small handful of them, but we know the full story, full spectrum of Zelda because we've read about it and gotten into all of the lore and all of the other games, how it connects. And it's a beautiful story. It's one of the few franchises where it involves every single Zelda game into an overarching story. So every game connects. And I think that's such a beautiful thing because it's, I think, over, 25 years of Zelda, 35 years of Zelda that we're enjoying as we are anticipating Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 to come out this year, which I'm super hyped about.
Yeah.
But I think, like, experiencing the hardest game of my life was Majora's Mask, because like I said, we've only beaten it twice.
Yeah.
And actually, there's one fond memory that I have. I don't remember what it was. I remember, just brotherly love, brotherly hate.
Yeah.
Something happened where my brother pissed me off, and I remember like the way that I knew to get him back because I had to have been like 10. I was young. The way I knew to get him back was to go into his save file on Ocarina of Time on the Nintendo 64 and delete it. Delete his save file because I was so petty.
God. Oh my God.
It was the only save file. It was the, mind you, we also had the gold version of Legend of Zelda. You'll hear that it's a very I guess better condition, a better more rare version of Zelda, the gold cartridge for the Ocarina of Time and the gold cartridge for Majora's Mask. Or wait, I think it was just Majora's Mask. Anyways, deleted his save file. He found out only the hard way. Of course, I didn't tell him. And to spite me back, he didn't care that we hadn't gotten very far in Majora's Mask. To give a little bit more of context, we had purchased Majora's Mask as a used game.
Mm.
So when we started up the cartridge, when we played it for the first time, there was already a save file that was completed. You could just enter the save file, and it was at the end of the game, and you can play it, and you can enjoy the end of the game. That was it. He deleted that. So any semblance of enjoyment that we had for Majora's Mask, for enjoying the end of the game, he deleted it. And I remember being so furious because I was thinking to myself, we can't beat the game anymore. We don't know how to play it.
Oh
And
my
so
god.
for the longest time, we didn't beat the game because we didn't know how to start it. We didn't know how to beat it. And then it was sometime along the road, like years later, I'm talking like half a decade later, that we like grew more mature and we're like, why didn't we ever play Majora's Mask? And so we finally decided to. It was gratifying because it's one of
Yeah,
the
I
best
loved
stories
watching you
I've
guys
ever
play those
played.
games. It was fun.
It was so good.
It's funny
Um,
how you can be when you're a kid with your siblings. A lot of
So
people don't
different.
know that I have a sister. I have an older sister.
For the longest time,
And,
I didn't know.
Yeah. She's not really a part of our family anymore by her choice, sadly. But she would always get me in trouble all the time because she was the golden child, and I was the one who did theater and like made weird noises in my room and played video games and shit.
When you say
I'm
it
not
like
even
that.
lying. I'm not even lying. When I fucking left my parents' house and moved in by myself, so my mom called me and she said, "I miss hearing you scream." Because you know how I am on stream. I will do that.
It's the
I'll do
little
it on my
things.
own when I'm just not on live. Like I'll sit here and go. And so my mom, one of the first things she said was, she's like, I miss hearing you sing around the house and just randomly make noises and scream in your room. I'm like, that's nice, thank you.
Of all the things. Thanks,
Yeah,
Mom.
but I
Thanks.
was the weird one. I was the weird one. I was the one that wasn't like doing the like normal children things. And she knew that, my sister, and played it to her advantage. So she would do shit and then just blame it on me, and my parents would instantly believe her. And
Damn,
yeah,
savage.
I know she was a bitch. And she there was a one time she got mad at me because like I forget what the fuck, I think I like just interrupted her when she was playing music or something.
Oh, you bastard.
I know.
How could you?
I was alone. We were both homeschooled. We were alone at our house, and I wanted attention. I was a kid, and she put my fucking toothbrush in the toilet and then put it back in the
Bro.
thing. And I then
Oh
told
my
me the next day,
God.
so I had used it, and I was like,
Oh!
I was like,
With that fart.
fucking
No.
gross. So I had used it. I'd fucking used it to brush my fucking teeth, dude. Oh,
Oh no!
so many instances of that.
That's
Siblings are
crossing
just.
the line.
Well, she crossed the line.
Yeah, no.
Not to say that I
thankfully
wasn't
we're
a
not that
bitch
bad.
of a sibling, but oh my
I
god,
think out of retaliation, if anything.
there was one time that me and somebody who was a friend of both my sister and I were like trying to mess with my sister and her friend, because she lived in the attic. We lived in a 3-story Civil War house. Like I've talked about this before. It has like the horsehair in the walls, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, they had a room in the attic. It was super weird, but that was her room. She wanted to be farthest away as possible from everybody. And they had this little door with like 4 glass windows that goes into that room, and she had like a little padlock thing on it. And we were just like banging on the door and freaking them out and stuff. And her friend pushed the door, and my one friend's elbow went through the window.
Oh no.
And like he had a previous injury where he went through a glass front door, so he instantly was like, I need stitches. So he started freaking out. And then the other my sister's friend had a previous injury of a window as well, so she was freaking out. And it was just this like mayhem, and it was right when we moved into that house, and so we broke a fucking window, and my parents were pissed the fuck off, and we're like,
Oh,
who did
PTSD.
it? And my sister was like, Josh. And I was like, the fuck? I'm not the one who has glass on him. That was
Oh
so
my
funny.
god, no, that's
Siblings,
terrible.
man. Siblings. I
Oh,
always
the
wanted a
shit we
brother, man.
remember.
I always wanted a brother. I did. I did. I don't care if I got
Oh,
beat up. I just wanted a brother. You know what's funny is because I had JP. Java Palette. I remember one. I remember one time because we grew up at the same. We were the same age with the same name. Okay, it was the worst thing to have as a best friend because
goodness.
when someone goes Josh, we both go you know,
Huh?
like. And so like we were both the same age. We had the same like testosterone levels, and we're going through puberty at the same time. Even though his balls still haven't dropped, but he
Documented proof.
um I remember him and I got upset one time because like one of us wanted to play the video game and then the other one wanted to do, and we were like not letting the other person play, and it got so bad that we had an actual fist fight, and I remember it vividly. It was
Oh,
in
no.
but like not like it wasn't like we were taking fucking swings. We were punching each other in the arm and stuff, but like we were like
Yeah.
standing there with our fists up, like you want some, you know. And I remember that
Just egging
vividly.
each other on.
Yeah, I remember that vividly, dude. Oh my god, so stupid when you're kids.
God, I
So
had a very
stupid.
similar relationship with my with my cousin on my mom's side. It's so funny because like nowadays I hang out with him frequently and we have the best time together, but I remember back then we were assholes to each other. Like we didn't want to share toys, we didn't want to share nothing. Anytime that we were in the same like room or like we knew the other was gonna be at the house that we were gonna go to, whatever, we were already like immediately pouting. So I
Yeah,
completely understand that.
yeah.
And then I don't know. I don't know where it just stopped. I don't know.
Well,
Something
that's the
just
thing. Like
changed.
JP and I have just like grown up together. So like there's been periods of our lives where we wouldn't see each other for like an extended period of time, like 6 months or so. But
Mm-hmm.
like we'd be talking like once a month or something like that. But it would be when we get together, it's the same as it always has been. You know, like and that's always nice. I always appreciate that. And I have two friends like that. It's JP and then I have a friend Jake Diak who has streamed with me a few times. But he lives out in Colorado, and I straight up, we were both so busy that we don't talk each other for like a year, and then like we'll meet up when he's home, and it'll be like we just saw each other yesterday, and I always appreciated that. It's like nothing changes.
That's so nice.
Yeah, because then you know like with other friends, and as time passes, you grow apart and like you change because you're constantly growing as humans, and you're learning
Mm-hmm.
different things. So it's interesting. Life
Change
is an
is
interesting
inevitable.
being. Yes, it's inevitable. I am inevitable. I am Iron Man.
I'll do it myself.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, man. It's interesting. So what made you want to start streaming? Because I know that you had the YouTube stuff. So talk a little bit about that.
What a segue. Yes, as you mentioned,
Thank you. I'm a professional.
Oh, you don't say. Wow, enlightening. Yes, I did start with YouTube back in July 2020. And I grew my inspiration, pretty much the majority, like I would say 90%, if not higher, of my inspiration and my motivation from Markiplier and Crank Gameplays, specifically when they did Unis Anis for the 1 year, and I got to enjoy every single moment of it. And it was such an experience, literally something you had to be there for, because there are people. Here, I guess I'll do a quick rundown for those who may not know what Unis Anis was. It was an intention to create a YouTube channel, and for an entire year, every single day, they dedicated their time and efforts, along with the people who were helping facilitate not only the footage creation but the editing. Just the team behind it would pump out videos each day of whatever content they decided to create, and they created a whole community about the inevitability that we all will come to an end, that everything does come to an end, and that it's not sad, but that it's acknowledged, so that you should take advantage of every moment of every day, of every opportunity you get, because you don't know when you may get it again or if you'll get the chance to. So it was built off of this premise. And it was so much fun to watch because you never knew what they were going to get into, and they didn't, because it was a day-to-day process. It was ordering shit from Amazon, or going to a sanctuary, or like learning how to shoot a bow. It was all kinds of wonderful things. And through the process, they were able to even shout out small business people, which I thought was really cool. It was so moving. And then by the end of it, when the time was coming, the channel was going to be deleted, and I was so moved by like what they had created, and along with everybody else, all the other millions of fans, that I did cry. I did shed a tear when the channel ended. And it was such a profound message to me. I even have a reaction video on my YouTube channel from it. That's how much it meant to me. So from that, I started my YouTube channel, because I always thought, I enjoy these people that I watch. I enjoy Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, PewDiePie, all these people. Yeah. Why not do it myself? I enjoyed doing that, and I enjoyed in middle school and a little bit of high school being, not necessarily in theater, but being on stage, being in front of a crowd, projecting my voice and being a character, so to speak. And so, like anything, starting out, you got to start somewhere. I look back at my videos on YouTube, man, and it's just like timid Crimson Line gameplays, you fuck.
No, I get that.
And just going through and creating videos on my YouTube channel, which eventually evolved into streaming on Twitch, because that transition was actually, it wasn't really planned. It was just looking at different avenues for social media. Because I had YouTube, and then from YouTube I had Facebook and Instagram at the time. I didn't have Twitter because I didn't believe in Twitter. I don't know why. I just didn't. I just grew like a mean brow to Twitter for whatever reason. And so to kind of just expand my horizons, I just looked at streaming on Twitch, and it was just a completely different beast.
Yeah.
And whenever coming to a new thing that I don't know about, I have this urge to want to teach myself or learn about something new that I really like want to try. Because my whole thing is I want to try everything at least once. Well, maybe not everything, but most things at least once before I say I don't like it. It doesn't make sense to say you don't like something if you've not tried it before.
100%.
And so that's just, the rest is like kind of history at that point. I started streaming on Twitch in September 2020, got my affiliate in February, and I mean, it's been growing ever since. We just hit 600 followers, which I'm super proud of. I'm really happy about the support that I've gotten from the community, from the friends like you that I've met along the way, and how it just continues to grow. So yeah, it's been a hell of a journey, and I'm really excited to see even what this year is going to hold.
Yeah, last year went by so quickly, but so much happened. So much. I think it's interesting because like I grew up on just like YouTube. I didn't know what Twitch was, and just like you, as soon as I saw, I don't know, I didn't have the skills to do YouTube. I feel like if I had the editing like skills, and I had the PC to be able to do like Premiere Pro and stuff like that, I would have done YouTube over Twitch, because I didn't know what Twitch was, but I knew that doing Twitch would be easier to start than YouTube because of the skill level required. Because honestly, anyone can stream. Anyone can stream. It's like a proven fact. We've seen the numbers, the percentages of like, what is it? You and I are in the top under 2% of streamers.
Which is very surprising.
Which is insane because we're in the middle ground, which means that all that 98% is just people who are streaming, who are like doing it to like 0 to 5 viewers. Everybody streams. There's so many people who stream. And so I was just like, this will be fun, because I was already trophy hunting and I was already doing that stuff. So it's like, I'm gonna go for it. And just like you said, like when I want to learn a new skill and I saw all the things that you could do with streaming, I was like, ooh, I'm going to take the time and I'm going to learn all this. And dude, you and I have spent so many nights just sitting in VCs, learning new things for OBS and trying out stuff. And I don't know. I just feel like with streaming, there's so much more creativity you can bring to it and the interactive experience than YouTube. Like YouTube is great because it keeps the videos there. You can have them go and go and go. But like there's just something different about the live experience with the things you can bring to it and the transitions and like, I don't know. It's like a show. You're putting on a show rather than like you're uploading a narrative,
Yeah. It's a whole new avenue. It's a whole new like medium almost.
100%.
And I'm super proud to say that everything that I've done as far as content creation is self-taught. Mm-hmm. I've utilized things that I've learned, like from college, for example. I went to the Art Institute of Phoenix, and I got my bachelor's in media arts and animation. So that provided me, learning about the Adobe suite, primarily After Effects, Photoshop, stuff primarily meant for animation. And being able to use Cintiq tablets, higher end applications required for industry level modeling and animation. We were privileged with that kind of things, with those kinds of things, as well as being taught by masters, literal masters. When people in that school would ditch class or miss class or anything like that, they were doing themselves a disservice because we literally had instructors that were on sets of Star Wars who built set designs for camera rigging. We had people as the faculty members that worked behind the scenes on your favorite Pixar movies that were at Disney, and people just took advantage of it. And I felt like I was one of the few sponges willing to stay there after class, even though I worked three full-time jobs throughout the duration of that 3.5 year period. So it was very gratifying to know that where I am now is because of like that and keeping that drive and passion going for now it's 5+ years.
It's all about drive. It's all about power.
okay, Dwayne. Okay,
Dwayne
Claus.
No. It's okay. So I feel like this is the perfect segue to like finish off the last conversation we'll have for the podcast, which will be a bigger one, so it's not like we're ending now. But you're talking about the inevitability with Unus Annus and how all things come to an end, because it does. That's just something, and I love the way they did it. I watched all of Unus Annus. I was right there with you. I didn't cry. Not a little bitch. No.
Sorry, but everybody will see that.
No, I didn't have as I don't think it's I'm not one to cry a lot normally. It's not like some like toxic masculinity I'm holding back. It's just the fact that like
I think it's just
certain things. It's certain things really make me cry. Like I cried at No Way Home. I cried at No Way Home 100%. And I cry a lot of movies and stuff, but that just I don't know. It didn't touch me that way. But I really love the concept.
Where did he touch you?
Oh my god. It did sit really well with me with how they had everything play out and the message they were trying to across, and a lot of people were really upset. I remember a lot of people were really upset that like they were gonna just delete it. Like they were like, you can end, just don't delete the videos, blah blah blah. And I was like, I think it's awesome because if you were there for it, you can say you were there for it. Exactly. And that's the point of life.
The whole point.
That's the whole point of life. Is just taking time to value that time. And I think especially with what's happened already this year with losing, Betty White and Bob Saget, like right off the bat, and like we're losing a lot of people because they're getting up there in age, and then also things that happened in COVID. And then with like my childhood dog passing away, and like we've had conversations like this before between you and I, but I feel like both of us have a mutual understanding that we are better suited to handle death than a lot of the other people that we've met, just because of one, we've experienced it a bunch, but then also like we have the mindset for it, like, yeah, I'm upset and it's okay to have that emotion of being like, that sucks. But at the end of the day, life moves on. It's going to happen eventually. All you can do is continue to move forward and make the best of the life that you have right now,
Absolutely.
And I feel something that Joy just mentioned to me the other day, which I actually it's funny because I totally forgot that I had said this to her. But on our first date, I had told her, "Hey, if this doesn't go well, we're not talking anymore." And she asked me why, and I said because my time's valuable, and I want something that's gonna last, not something that's just temporary. I said that on our first date, and I don't remember saying that at all. Like, I was like, that's kind of fucking rude. And she's like, but you were straightforward because you had the juice bar. At that time, I was doing the juice bar, and I didn't have much time to socialize. And I knew I was ready to have a relationship again because I wanted one, even if it was long distance. But I didn't want my time to be wasted because my time was the most valuable thing I had at that time. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, I was smart back when I was a teenager. I was like, fuck, like, damn. And I totally forgot, but she's like, that's one of the biggest reasons that like I wanted to continue our relationship was that you were forthright with what you wanted. And you were just like, you were just like, this is what I want. If that's not what if you're not okay with that, then leave. You know? And I was
and
like,
don't
damn.
even remember it.
And I don't even remember it. But like, that's
unbelievable.
But that's the thing, like, time is the most valuable thing in life because that is the one thing you cannot get more of. You can always get more food, you can always get more water, you can always get more friends, you can always, get more money, but you only have a certain amount of time, and we don't even know how much that is for your life. I'm not trying to have anyone have an existential crisis right now who's listening, but
Josh, please stop.
It hurts, please. But at the end of the day, that's all we have. And so if you're not happy with what you're doing, if you're not happy with how you're feeling with about a certain someone, like you got to do what's best for you in the time that you have.
Yeah.
And that's why I went on a couple dates around the same time that I went on my first date with Joy, and none of them went well, and none of them were rewarding in any way in the sense of like a mutual connection that we shared or anything like that. And Joy and I really hit it off and we had the same values, and it worked out well. I didn't like working at Starbucks, and so I quit Starbucks and I started doing this. Do I make enough money to sustain ourselves? Not really, but I'm happy as fuck, and I've met people like you, and I can do all these different things, and I'm trying to make the best of my life and all those things. And just like I said in a couple episodes ago, if you have toxic people in your life, fucking get rid of them. Take out the garbage, the metaphorical garbage. Take out the garbage. It's not worth your goddamn time.
And if you don't have toxic people in your life, you might want to look in the mirror and make some changes.
Yeah, like self-reflection is a big thing. Yeah, self-reflection is a really good thing. And I feel like we're all on our own journey and slowly getting to where we want to be because we're still very young. We still got a lot of time, but I want to make the best of the time that we have right now. Especially with COVID and everything, it's been, a very eye-opening experience for I feel like a lot of people.
Yeah. It's been a very centralized, unique experience with COVID because it's, excuse me, there have been pandemics in the past. There have been outbreaks. There have been full-on, huge, devastating pandemics where, people are just dropping like flies. And this is just the one in day and age that we are having to deal with now, and it's a matter of how we're gonna adapt, what we're gonna do, while still maintaining, happiness, while still maintaining the things that we want to maintain, that we want to choose as our endeavors to shoot after.
Yeah.
And that is the crux of me doing this. I'm sure you doing this content creation and streaming and twitching. And it's and having the opportunities that you otherwise never would have thought you would have had had you not chosen to do something like this. And that goes for anything, not just content creation, just any new endeavors that anyone wants to try for the first time new. It's a very scary thing. It can be a very frightening thing. But that's part of it. That you're not going to know until you do it, and find that you do like it or that you don't like it, and that's part of it.
Yeah. You gotta trek on, brother man.
It's beautiful. It's ugly.
Yeah, but that's what makes it beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited for this year. I know that a lot of people are like, cliche. Oh no, let's just hope that it's not like the last 2 years. And it's like, well, if you think like that, come on. No, yeah, it is cliche to be like, I'm really excited for 2022, but no, I am. I'm excited to see what the year brings, because last year was a fucking roller coaster. Like, so much stuff happened. But I'm excited to see what this one has coming for us, Yeah. What you got in store for us, bud? Huh? What are you hiding under your fucking folds, huh? Show me.
Briefcase about.
Open her up. I want to see.
But of course, with consent. With consent.
Oh yeah.
Only show me if you want to.
Yes, please. But thank you so much for coming out and being my first guest. I appreciate you a lot, man. I look forward to every Sunday. To anyone who doesn't know, we have a day called Apple Licorice Day.
I
almost said Apple-ish. Apple Licorice Day, because he's all about licorice. I'm all about apples. And on Sundays, we've been going through every Borderlands game as the first time playing it, and it's been a lot of fun. So go check out TheeKrimson on all social media.
That's
come
me.
out and that's me. And come check us out on Sundays on stream if you'd like. Can we can we get a shout out for? No. You want to plug your socials and stuff here for a sec? I'll give you time to plug yourself non-sexually.
Yeah.
Or sexually, whatever you want. Whatever you want to do.
Whatever you favor, man. Down in the comments, leave your favorite moment.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you can find myself, TheeKrimson, on Twitch, YouTube, the main ones, Instagram, Twitter, Hover. I think that. Oh, and TikTok. Yeah, I don't upload to TikTok as much as I would like. But yeah, it exists. I think there's like 2 videos on there. But yeah, you can find me on any of those.
Hell yeah. Dude, thank you again. Seriously, I appreciate you. Also, a question of the week, or hashtag of the week, whatever the fuck we want to do. If you enjoyed the episode, tweet at me and Crimson, conjoined with the You've Been Josh, hashtag You've Been Josh, and hashtag Don't Spoil It, okay? Don't spoil it. And let us know the question for this week, because I want to try to do this every week. At the end of the episode, I'll let you guys know what to do. This week is what is something very mainstream in media and or like TV shows, movies, games, whatever, that you haven't seen or played that has been out for a very long time? Is there anything that you haven't seen, watched, or played that has been out that's very mainstream that you haven't seen or played? Like a couple of our friends haven't seen Star Wars, or like whatever. Like, tweet us.
What a question.
Hashtag Don't Spoil It, and let us know what stuff you haven't seen or played.
I'm actually kind of happy that you haven't seen Bond. I'm happy that we're going through those.
I haven't seen Bond. We're watching those every Thursday. It's been a glorious experience. But
the camp.
The campiness has been fantastic. Pussy galore. What the fuck? But thank you again, my friend. Everybody, remember to eat your apples and stay funky, my dudes. Nom, nom, nom. I will see you all next week. All right. Bye.
Bye.